Hello my dear children of ninth standard. Now in this video we are going to study a poem from your Beehive book. The name of the poem is poem number 3, Wind, written by Subramania Bharati. Subramania Bharati was a great Tamil poet, famous for his patriotism in the pre-independence era. Now this poem Subramania Bharati has written in Tamil language, and from Tamil, A.K. Ramanujan, a very famous Kannada and English poet, has translated this poem into English. So, in this poem, the poet is talking to the wind. The poet is describing the power of wind. He has linked or compared the power of wind, the destructive power of wind, to the problems or adversities of life, and is saying that the weak people break down in adversities or in problems, while on the other hand strong people face each and every problems or adversities or difficulties with strongness. The poet is saying that we should make all the adversities, difficulties, problems which are there in our life as our friends, and then see the magic that slowly you will feel stronger. So, let us begin the poem. I'll read the stanza and I'll explain you. So, here poet is saying that wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. So, in this stanza, the poet is saying that poet is talking to wind, or we can say that he is requesting wind to come softly. He is requesting wind not to break the shutters, the doors of the windows. He is requesting wind not to scatter the papers, not to throw papers in random directions, not to throw down the books which are there on the shelf. After that, the poet is showing the wind, the destruction which he has done. He is just showing to wind and saying that how he has thrown them all down. The poet is saying him that how he has torn the pages of the books, how he has brought rain again. After this, the poet says that you are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So, in these lines or in this stanza, the poet says to the wind that he is very smart, very clever at poking fun, means making fun at weaklings, at weak things or people. Here, frail means weak, crumbling means falling or to break. Rafters means beam which support the roof of the building. So further, the poet says that when the wind is very powerful, very strong, it breaks everything. Weak houses fall, weak doors fall, the beam which supports the roof of the building fall, all the wooden structure fall, all bodies of people, animals, lives, hearts fall or break. So the poet is saying that when any weak things faces the powerful or strong wind, fall, like in life when people faces the difficulty or challenges in life, they breaks down, they fall down. Further, poet says that the wind god winnows and crushes them all. So in this line, poet is addressing wind as God and saying that he separates weak things and crushes them all. Like same way, weak people in life, while facing challenges or difficulties, they fall down and get crushed. Here, winnows means blow a current of air through, we can say, grains in order to remove chaff. So the poet is saying that how we winnow or blow the wheat to separate the grain from husk, from chaff. Like same way, the wind god separates the strong people from weak people. Further, poet says that he won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to form the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this and the wind will be friend with us. So in these lines, the poet tells that the wind will not listen to us. He will not control his force. So poet is telling us to build strong homes, to join the doors firmly, means strongly, so that the wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should make our body, our heart strong, and if we will do so, the wind will become our friend. So here the poet wants us to make wind as our friend. If we compare to our life, so poet is telling to make the adversities, the problems which are there in our lives as our friends. And then see the magic. Further, poet says that the wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. So in this stanza, the poet says that everything that is weak blows out or move out or finished off by the strong wind. And all the things that are strong flourish, means rise and grow to become stronger. Your poet wants to give us the message that don't be sad or unhappy that we are facing so many adversities or difficulties or problems. We should make ourselves strong while facing the challenges. It is good to make the adversities, the problems as our friend. We should praise him every day. We should thank the adversities, the problems every day. That we should thank that yes, we are facing, and it is good that you came into our life, and because of that we became stronger. So we should tell the adversities, the problems which are there in our life, that thank you that you came into our life, and because of that we became strong. So with this we come to an end of the poem. Now the message which we get from the poem is that if you are not strong from inside, you will not be able to face the difficulties and hardship of your life. So be strong. Now after that, let us see the literary devices which has been used in this poem. So very first, rhyme scheme. So if you will see every line's last word, so it is not rhyming with each other. So we can say that no rhyme scheme in this poem. The poem is written in free words. The poem is written in free words. Now we'll see the figures of speech which is used in this poem. So very first figure of speech is anaphora. Now, what is the meaning of anaphora? So, anaphora means when a particular word or phrase is used repeatedly within a speech or text to add artistic effect, or we can say a particular word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines. Consecutive means following each other continuously. So here you can see that second, third and fourth line is starting with don't. Again you can see that sixth, seventh and eighth line is starting with you. So this type of figure of speech is known as anaphora. Next figure of speech which has been used in this poem is personification. So first, what is the meaning of personification? So personification means giving human traits like qualities, feelings, action or characteristics to non-living objects. So in the entire poem, wind has been personified. How? When the poet says you are, the poet is referring you to the wind. That means he is treating wind as living thing. Like same way you can see in the second last and third last line when poet is referring he to the wind. So poet is treating wind as living thing. Now next figure of speech which has been used in this poem is repetition. Now what is the meaning of repetition? So repetition means repetition of the same words or phrases in a same line. So you can see in the ninth line, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. So crumbling is repeated more than once, okay, in one single line. So this type of figure of speech is known as repetition. Now next figure of speech which has been used in this poem is alliteration. Now what is the meaning of alliteration? So a repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning. Okay. Remember, at the beginning of two or more words that are close to one another. So you can see that in 12th line, the poet is saying that the wind god winnows and crushes them all. So here see wind winnows means W sound is coming, W sound is coming and W is consonant. So this type of figure of speech is known as alliteration. Again you will see in the 13th line, the poet is saying he won't do what you tell him. So again see want, what. Again V sound is coming. Two words are starting with consonant. So see W, W. So again V sound is repeating, it means alliteration. So simple alliteration means repetition of consonant sound at the beginning of two or more words that are close to one another. Now next figure of speech which has been used in this poem is symbolism. So symbolism means that a thing refers to some other thing, or you can say something to represent and give meaning or message about something else. So in this poem, the wind is the symbol. The wind refers to the challenges in life. So we can say that the poet has used symbolism. He is using wind as the symbol for the adversities in our life. So in this poem, no rhyme scheme has been used. Okay, poet has used free words, free verse. And figures of speech which has been used in this poem is anaphora, personification, repetition, alliteration and symbolism. So read the poem and watch the video. Okay, with this we come to an end. Thank you.